Hi there, this is John from RevSoft, and this video is an overview of how the decentralized REV Scheduler application design on all platforms differs from the centralized design, which was the original enterprise scheduling design. If you have any questions at all, please email us at product_info@revsoft.com. REV Scheduler has a decentralized architecture and requires no additional hardware, as there is no central engine. So basically, REV Scheduler runs on your existing hardware. We have an example scenario here with 3 servers that we want the scheduling to be executed on. In the centralized model, we have an additional server where the engine resides and normally the database. Then on each node server, there will be an agent installed, like the A's we've got there. Decisions about dependencies, triggers, and group jobs are made on the central server. So these decisions are made remotely. In this scenario, you have 4 servers in total. Okay, so now the REV Scheduler model, where we install smart agents on each of the 3 servers. Databases for all servers that are non-IBM iSeries are your call in terms of the type and location, local or remote. For IBM iSeries servers, as DB2 is part of the firmware, they use a local DB2 instance. Now, any decisions about dependencies, triggers, group jobs are made locally by the smart agents. In this scenario, you have 3 servers in total. So when we were looking at making and constructing the REV Scheduler enterprise design, we made a list of pros and cons of the original centralized model. Okay, so let's start with the pros, the things we thought were really good. We did like the way you can define calendars and jobs in a single place on the central server and then roll them out to other servers. So a one-to-many, and we thought that was really good. So in REV Scheduler, what we did is you can do the same thing using the publishing feature, where you can define the object on a server and then via RevView publish it to as many servers as you require, and whenever you update it, it will automatically be published and applied to the other servers. So we thought that was a great thing. Unfortunately, that was the only pro that we found. Now let's get to the cons. Now the first con we saw was the issue of where the servers were bigger and more powerful than the central scheduler server. So imagine a Windows server with MS SQL Server controlling the scheduling of a mainframe with DB2. It's like a Ferrari being towed by a skateboard. And with scheduling, we're always considering speed as one of the major functions of scheduling, because people these days are running more scheduled jobs, not less. So this is where we decided to put a smart agent, because it utilizes the power of the server. So if it was on a mainframe, it'll use the power of the mainframe. The second con we saw was, what happens if the central server cannot be contacted by an agent for decisions that need to be made via dependencies, triggers, group jobs, etc. We've heard this called deafness in the industry. So what we did then is we're running on your server, so we don't need to go outside if we don't need to. The smart agent makes the decisions locally. Then what we saw next was, what happens if the central server fails? It's a server. Things can go wrong or it needs maintenance. This would then lead you to have the central point of failure. Well, this doesn't apply to us in RevSoft because all the servers can talk to each other via RevView if required. The next thing we saw was the concept of rollouts. So if we need to add a new job for today or update a job that was already there to run today, I would update it on the central server and then I would have to do a rollout to send it to the agent. Now, if they didn't do it in time, they forgot to do the rollout, we saw it as a potential issue. Whenever you update anything in REV Scheduler, it takes effect immediately. There is no concept of rollouts. The other thing we looked at is, if we wanted to manage the execution of the scheduled jobs, hold, force, skip, or just view jobs as they're running, we'd have to connect to the central server. Now, that's okay, But what we saw in RevSoft is we can have multiple focal points, as many as you require. That way you can go to any of those focal points and see all the jobs in the enterprise running. So it gave you more variety and safer. Well, that's it for the overview. If you have any questions, please email us at product_info@revsoft.com, and please check out more videos about the decentralized model, and don't forget about checking out the Learning Center. Thank you for your time.